Jim Blumreich.
Here.
Alderman Joe Moore.
Present.
Melanie Parma.
Yes.
Matt Schuler.
Here.
And Tom Weber.
Here.
I don't have the PowerPoint.
That's for a motion to approve the agenda that's out.
So move.
Motion by Jim, second by Tom. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's great. Approval of minutes as sent out by Lisa a few weeks ago.
So moved.
Gary? Second by
Matt.
Matt. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Communications, consideration of possible action on communication from May 2nd, 27th of the Common Council by Alderman Moore to begin neighborhood outreach, to develop a neighborhood association west of Elizabeth and north of University Avenue, south of Eastern Avenue. Recommendations referred to staff. Do you want to comment, Joe?
I'm going to meet with Will Peters after the meeting today, and we'll get some more details on this. So I'll just make a motion that we refer this back to staff.
Second.
Motion by Joe, second by
Jim.
Jim. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Old business done. New business. Consideration of possible action to approve a development agreement with TMD Properties LLC for the redevelopment of the JBS Packland Packing Site at 2580 University Avenue, tax parcel 21301.
All right, so you received in your packet a report from Director Avant as well as a copy of the development agreement. This is for the redevelopment project at the old Packland Packing Site. It's 322 residential units. They'll be constructed in 4 phases over a period of 4 to 5 years. These are loft-style units with the element of senior style as well. There's a concept plan which includes vehicular, pedestrian, bike ingress and egress to the property, both from University Avenue and Rothy Street. There's also a contingent of a paved pedestrian and bike path, no less than 10 feet, that will be included in this project as well. And then reserving that 3.59 acres, if you remember, in the northwest corner, to be used for future mixed-use or commercial development that we had talked about. So in the development agreement, there's a project grant of $1.5 million in the front, which will be used for the removal of the structure, infrastructure, asbestos abatement, also working with contouring of the property. You remember that's strangely contoured property, and then construction of access roads. There's also a pay-go reimbursement on the back, which will be not more than 50% of the remaining TIF increment, which will be available after the annual debt service is paid. Excuse me, January 1st, the property had a assessed tax value of $758,800. Upon completion, the city estimates that assessed property value to be $21,896.
Cheryl, the bike path, does the developer have to pay for that?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
The developer is here and has some information to share, if you'd like to open the floor.
I'll make the motion, open the floor.
Motion by Joe, second by Tom. Motion to the floor, public discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Good afternoon, RDA.
Hey, Todd.
Would you like the podium?
No, I'm fine.
You're fine, okay.
We are here submitting our the developer's agreement. It's been reviewed by both our attorney and the city's attorney. There was some minor minutia change, but for all intents and purposes, the agreement has stood, accurate to what the term sheet was. We've been moving forward on kind of nurturing our plan. We're not quite there yet, but we have a site plan which shows there was we wanted to keep that land to the west as commercial, so as well as provide an access onto Rothy. So we're going on the back side of the site with our temporary easement until we find out what the project is, so we're not bisecting the site, and then we have 2 sites, so we're going to keep that access point kind of in limbo until maybe a junior box happens or something of that nature. So we want that flexibility, but we are going to have that access onto Rothy. So that was one of the items. You mentioned about the bike trails. I have had conversations with the Parks Department. They're, haven't really had a chance to study this plan, but, we are willing to, right now our bike paths are going to be paved all the way down to where that green trail on the very bottom of the property. That's a dirt path, and our plan was to tie into that which is a mountain biking path. But, where that line is on the west side of the property coming down the, right-of-way for Rothy, which the city owns, that elevation is super steep. And, and based on the city's criteria for like a pitch of 110, it's going to have to move out of that right-of-way, probably to the west. There is a path we can snake back there to get a better elevation and tie right to the paved bike path.
Oh.
But that's a lot of land area that I don't control. So I just FYI, I mean, we're willing to bring it down to that path, and and right now we're connecting to a dirt path, and we don't have the rights to pave and that's quite the distance to get to the paved path, but we are providing an access point, and that's been the thought process, unless the
So
parks.
we're with the park department on that project then?
Correct, so.
Now, what's your timeline for demolition and construction?
Well, based on, once we get the developer's agreement approved to, we're going to move forward on, some of the demolition things that internally, but, the approval process, is still, there's, we have to get concept plan, planning, approval, zoning. There's a multitude of things which, we could be, 16 weeks down the road, 8 to 16 weeks. So, we're going to do what we can before we can know we got the plan approved. And then once, we got the plan approved, then we're going to go, as fast as we can. But, we had hoped to try to get fourth quarter of, trying to get, maybe some foundations in. So maybe next spring we're building. But based on what I believe the approval process to be at the city, we're hoping that that is the case, depending on how fast this goes through the process.
Right.
Todd, going through this, like you said, I don't see very many changes from what we agreed with the term sheet. A question I have though, so we're going to do, 1.5 up front for the demolition. What would the value be of phase 1, which would be the first phase?
Phase 1 is, 48 lots, so I'd say, pushing $5 million.
And the idea is that as they're developed, the 48 units, you get into phase 2. I mean, it's
Correct.
Okay.
And phase 2 is approximately, half of that phase 2 is right where the big buildings are. And so, we're, right now looking at the engineering of, what's it gonna take to fill the basements with, fill that we can build on, and we're looking at, we're trying to get geotechnical probes, things of that nature. That's some of the things going on right now.
Expect that you'd like to move into phase 2 as quickly as possible after phase 1 is completed?
Definitely. We've got approval for, phase 1 and 2, and, as soon as we can start building. Market will, dictate, but I feel confident in our assumptions that, the market will, keep us busy.
Did your lender give you a leased up on phase 1 before they would fund phase 2?
Per building, we're just gonna keep rolling, per building, but we have commitment for both phases.
Okay, so they don't have to be, you're not having a lease up before they will 80% leased up right
Yeah, I
before?
mean, we're not, if we have the second building and we're 100% vacant, we're gonna put we're gonna think about, how fast that rolls out, but.
From phase to phase, you
yeah.
got what, like 4 buildings or so, 3 buildings in phase 1?
Correct.
So do they have to be leased up to a certain percent before they will fund you starting phase 2?
No, but our stabilization's probably around 15% vacant,
Yeah, I was hoping that was.
yeah.
You see, and part of the agreement in the development budget does state that not less than 10 million in hard construction costs for phases 1 and 2 of the project, so.
Oh, okay.
And we'll far exceed that for both phases.
That's good. That's good.
Any other questions? Thank you, Doug.
Thank you very much.
As for a motion to return to regular order of business?
Could I
There's other
speak,
Oh,
please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Didn't see you. Come on, forward.
My name is Kathy Jerry. I'm president of the Schmidt Park Neighborhood Association. Although we're very happy to see Packerland Pack and Go, our hope had been that it would be more condos and single-family dwellings because we feel they have a better interest in the neighborhood. But be that as it may, that's not actually the reason I'm speaking. Our big concern is traffic on University. If you live out there, universities are basically our only way into town. And for a year, we've been living with the mess that's out there now. And you add another 500 cars there. And I think, and even though you say you have an exit to Rothy still exits onto University. So they're all coming onto University. We have 3 stoplights there now. Our biggest concern is it's just going to be a nightmare for the people who live up Humboldt Road, who want to come down there, who live down farther on University and live in the Schmidt Park area. Because as I said, basically that's our main way into town. Otherwise you have to run over to Huron and go around, or you have to go up onto the highway and come around, which is way out of the way for a lot of people. So I'd like to voice that concern to this group. So I hope you will take that into consideration, dealing with the traffic issue. Thank you.
That's a good point, thank you.
Speak on that.
Anyone else?
Actually, I can wait till we return back over.
Motion by Joe, second by Tom, return to regular order of business. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Make a comment.
Yep.
I would just make the comment that I agree the traffic is going to be an issue. You're going to see eventually the Tillman site's going to be developed. All the open space that runs along University right now, where there are not buildings for future commercial buildings there. Potentially a new high school a decade down the road. 300 residential units going into Grandview, and all the current development that's going up on Huron Road right now. I mean, their shot down to Festival Foods is going to be down Humboldt and on University Avenue, and I think that is an area of the city that we're going to have to take a look at, probably sooner than later.
Right.
So I think Mr. Jerry makes a very good point about making sure that that's on our agenda and on our radar.
That's a good point, Joe.
There hasn't been any traffic study done in that area then?
No, but I think that's part of this development agreement I'm looking for, John. Do you remember there being traffic?
That is part of the development
That's part of the
agreement, and
development.
we're working with the Public Works Director right now, we're giving him the information, he's studying it, and, but there was a traffic study done with Festival Foods,
Yeah.
which, looked at that part of University Avenue. Not that that study is going to be used, but he's going to use some of that information, weigh it with what we gave him. And so we're waiting on those figures to see what he recommends.
It says under our compliance section that developer shall obtain the approval of the city, RDA, State of Wisconsin, DOT, to a traffic impact analysis regarding the project.
That'd be
So-
good, yeah.
Good.
Right. Okay,
To
anything else?
just comment on Joe's point, not only this, but all the other development that's going out there. And if I'm not in that area frequently, but if I recall it, there's ample right-of-ways if we have to reconstruct in 20 years
Oh.
or 15 years. Is my assessment correct?
There's some pretty good slopes on the sides of the road as you go in between the university and
Is there?
like the VA hospital and to where Festival is.
Okay.
So it's,
Double the
All right,
we'll take some more.
that's for motion then on the proposal.
I make the motion that we approve the development agreement as it's presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Joe, second by Gary, then to approve the development agreement with TMD Property. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 3, consideration possible action to purchase 877 Howard Street using neighborhood enhancement funds.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
I want to just let you guys know I'm a little sick today, so I apologize.
Okay.
for that. We're off.
We accept it.
What was that? This property, 877 Howard, we've been looking at for probably about a year now. It's a 2-story side-by-side duplex. It's vacant right now. When we first started looking at it, it was in poor condition. Over the last winter, there was some vandalism that was done at the property, and it's actually kind of deteriorated a little bit more.
Is the property empty now?
It is empty, yes. Yep. And so the owner is looking to just get out of the property. So we're thinking we should be able to, or we're hoping to put out for an RFP as a owner-occupied duplex. There's a lot of neat historic elements of the property. We actually took Jason Flatt, our historic guy, through the property. And, you know, it's not anything that will be on the historic register or anything, but there's some neat elements in it. So we're hoping to save it. However, if the numbers don't work out, we can raise the property, and we do have a buildable site.
Okay, the buildable site.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how old the building is?
It is, I believe, about 100 years old.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh.
So, and it was built as a kid.
Yeah.
There's a what?
Carries.
It was trick-or-treated there.
I was there for the groundbreaking.
Good, Eric. What's that building next to it?
Which,
To the left of it. That's-
yeah, it's just a house. I guess I'm not sure. I think,
Just looks like a very large.
yeah, it's a private residence. I'm not sure.
The pickle factory is directly behind this parcel.
Oh,
So
oh.
there's nothing behind it, it's just commercial right behind it, so it's pretty deep lot.
Yeah.
The price is right.
So,
Motion, let's buy
You have
it.
a price on it?
Yeah, 25,000.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Right.
huh?
you want?
No, what?
You want
Really?
I
I said it all the time.
All right, next item on the agenda, we're looking to sell
And
this
they got it on
property.
tape.
Yeah, right.
Serve to get yourself.
Yeah.
I know.
You just need
That's
a,
a good job.
Any further discussion?
Yeah.
make a motion to approve the purchase, negotiation and purchase of 877 Howard Street.
Second.
Motion by Joe, second by Jim to move ahead to purchase 877 Howard Street using neighborhood enhancement funds. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Can I just
Yeah.
object to ask something? Is, when we make that motion to purchase, that's how we made the motion to purchase, but the plan, as we understand, is to put an RFP for a conversion. Is that part of the motion or not? Not?
I think you've just really authorized staff to
To buy it and
proceed.
do what the heck
You know,
you want.
if it's we bring it back for final approval on a
Yeah.
project.
Okay.
So you'll see, like, we
But
just
even
may
if,
tear it down.
even if you were to tear
but,
down, you're gonna bring it back because.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd like us to.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise.
Well, we'd
we
like to
would-
know because, I mean, I think we're kind of looking for the development.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody getting it and then rehabbing it.
Yep, we could, we could certainly bring it back at the next meeting, and if we're gonna tear it down or rehab it, and let you know.
Oh, okay, so you
So,
don't,
yeah, if you'd like us, we can do that. Either bring it back for
it
approval
just
as
as
an
a, just,
RFP.
not,
or-
you don't even approve, just as a comment or something.
Okay, as part of like the
Director's
director's
notes.
Okay,
Director Shell.
Get raised.
that works.
Fine, good. Number 4, consideration with possible action to purchase 900 South Greenwood Avenue using neighborhood enhancement funds. Tim?
Yep, all right, so yeah, this is a property in the Tank Park neighborhood. The owner bought it a few years ago, I think about 10 years ago, as his first investment property. Ended up, now he lives in St. Louis, and he just wants out of it. He's gonna end up losing money on the property. And we can get it for $10,000, which is less than the land value. So we're hoping,
Again,
You know, it's-
buildable lot.
it is a buildable, it's a little bit narrow, so we're gonna have to get creative with our plan,
Okay.
but it is within.
On the corner?
Yeah.
Is that on the corner?
Yeah,
Right
so
across from the park.
over the
Oh,
years,
okay.
it's seen a lot of additions onto it, and now those additions are kind of going their own.
It's hard
Oh,
to
it's
tell.
good.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're like, we shouldn't be on here, so they're trying to get off of it.
This
So-
one, you probably demolish and then.
Yeah, there are some historic elements inside, but not anything. really
Knob and
worth-
tube electrical isn't exactly a historical element.
I'm sure, I'm sure.
Is it Melvin too? Yeah.
I don't wanna talk
I like
about
that when they put it.
And you think it'd be torn down?
More than likely torn down. So we're gonna do, once we purchase it, we'll look at it, see if we can save it, but more than likely it's a tear down.
Yeah.
Do we have plans for that neighborhood, acquire and convert or anything, or just?
Well, it's.
Well, it's
adjacent
adjacent.
to the shipyard.
Yeah.
Oh, it is,
So,
okay.
Definitely.
So it's right on the edge of where
Yeah.
we're hoping to concentrate.
And the site that they would like to develop that we've talked about is that railroad site. If you looked a little bit to the south, where that gravel is, that's the Canadian National site that
large
I
open
talked about.
areas.
Oh, okay.
That's right there, if that ever would.
I'll make a motion this week.
Right, we have a motion by Gary, second by
I'll second.
Melanie to purchase the site at 900 South Greenwood Avenue using neighborhood enhancement funds. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 5, consideration of possible action on the lease agreement with Carusser, and I have no idea who that is.
Great.
Four-star.
They used to be recycled fibers or the newer group. So, yeah, this is the, on the 520 North Broadway, the last Larson Green Canyon building.
Oh.
That the RDA currently owns. Curastar has rented from us for the last year to lease out the parking lot, to park 60 of their semi-trailers.
Right. Where are they located, Ken?
Right behind the shelter.
No,
right?
no.
But
Their corporate office?
Corporate office, I forget, but I know that they have
It's
some
not in Green
operations.
Bay.
They have some operations in Green Bay, but yeah,
Oh, they
the
do?
corporate office, I don't believe is here.
They got a lot of semis there.
Yeah, so, they also leased from on Broadway prior to when they owned the Larson Green Canyon building. They've been good tenants so far. Anything that we've asked of them, they've done. They've helped out with, they moved some semis around for when the Badgers came into town for parking over there. So they wanted to make sure that they could continue leasing because they like the
Is
site.
that on a month-to-month basis?
It is quarterly right now.
This is the
So-
1 year.
Yeah, but yeah, this will be for another year. So, previously we could terminate, within 90 days, we're limiting that to 45. So, once development does go forward over there, we can kind of get things moving quicker. So, that's the only change in the
Any
previous.
penalty for that? Any penalty for doing that?
No penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, I assume our hold harmless language is written into the contract, or is it a separate document?
Yeah, I believe it's all in, the insurance is all in there. It's all been reviewed by, the law department, so.
And we have to.
And right now, the rent that we
Page 5, hold harmless.
get from them covers our expenses for maintaining that building, so. While we hold it, it's kind of just, the utilities, so it makes sense to continue the lease while we
Oh, yeah.
continue to hold the building, so.
Good.
Gary, to answer your question, multiple locations through the Midwest and East. Their headquarters are in Austell, Georgia.
Where?
Austell, Georgia.
Georgia. Oh,
and the plant is actually on Prairie Avenue.
yeah. All right.
Good contract? It's a good contract?
I'm sure it is. Joanne reviews most of these, and so she's been, I have no doubt that she's done it.
Move to approve. Motion by Jim, second by
Matt?
Matt. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 6, consideration possible action on the rehabilitation project at 159 North Maple Avenue using neighborhood enhancement funds.
All right, so 159 North Maple. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, remember that well.
Yeah, we've talked about this one quite a bit with
Yep.
staff. We've met with on Broadway and the Neighborhood Association. We've met with some other developers and kind of just got a feel for how the project might move forward. Also met with Brown County Home Builders Association to see, to really get that collaborative project moving. And right now, with the way the market's going, we're feeling that we're just gonna try to put an RFP out there to see if we can get a private developer interested in this. We really wanna stick with the single-family home in that neighborhood. We think that's really gonna be the best spark for that neighborhood. We know with the talks that we've had, there might be we might have to offer some grant funding to kind of cover the gap between, your sale price and what's gonna have to go into it to get the project where we want it, to be at the standard of, to have that gem on that block. So, I guess what we're looking to do now is go forward with an RFP, continue to advertise with on Broadway and the Neighborhood Association, and bring some of that height to it by, possibly, I mentioned getting a banner printed, put on the property, as well as we want to do some initial blight removal, kind of do some of the landscaping, just to get it a little bit more visible, so it's not hidden by all the, foliage that's in there right now. And then also to do some of the, asbestos removal and testing, so.
Some of the environmental stuff that might
Yeah.
be a deterrent to some developers.
Can you know how old that house is?
Yeah, this one is, I don't have that number.
Early 19.
It was the AWG
Yeah.
house, and that was an executive at the pickle factory. Trying to remember what I see, 1800 something,
Really?
late 1800s. I'd have to go back to check. Either early 1900s or late 1800s.
It's over 100 years old. I
Yeah.
think,
Well,
so.
around, yeah.
There is.
First place.
And a few of you went through it, you saw, there's
Yeah.
still some
Yeah.
awesome historic
Yeah,
elements.
we're
of it.
talking $200,000-$300,000 of work done, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we figured, up to
No,
300 in that,
no.
but
No.
some of
Some of the initial numbers, unofficial numbers that we've got back from some of the different people were somewhat encouraging, that it was, we have to obviously kind of monitor how the work is going to be done and the quality of it, but they were a little bit better than what I think we
Our
were prepared
expertise,
for.
our expertise, yeah.
Yeah. And then your expertise based on what you were talking about, so it kind of was a little bit more palatable based on the numbers, but we're still anticipating that, once you start digging in, there'll be some others, as always.
Is there any historic nature that can be applied to that?
Not anymore.
Uh,
We had Jason Flat walk through it, and because so much of it has been
Gutted and
gutted and
changed.
changed.
Oh,
and
sure,
it
you wouldn't be
doesn't-
able to replicate, or you've
Right.
already destroyed
Yeah.
what they, yeah.
But with that being
We
said.
looked into that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was still excited with what he saw there, and that,
Sure.
there's still enough that we can make it almost like our own kind of historic, but it won't ever be on like a national register or a state
Did you have
register.
interior pictures on here, or just in the packet?
I think just in the packet, actually, yeah.
You don't want to see it.
Wow.
Oh, no, they're cool though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's lead glass and there's.
Oh, no, there is.
Transoms and
Well, there's actually, you got 3 levels in there too, then.
Right.
To go to a single family is great. The problem is going to be, and that's where grant money is going to have to be to subsidize that purchase price, because
Absolutely.
what it's going to be worth, nobody is going to spend that money in that neighborhood as it sits now.
Mm-hmm.
A few years from now, maybe so.
And that's what we're hoping to spark, is that, really use this one as that jumping off point for that whole neighborhood, so.
And it's got some other challenges too, including no garage, no shed, no ability to put them on there, so.
No, I think we have room for a garage inside if you take off that back.
With that back
Oh,
picture.
if you're talking about the
Yeah.
removal,
Then
the
you
back.
actually could put a
Yeah.
garage on that side, so.
As it sits, though.
That would help.
As it sits, right.
Yeah.
But
My impression when I saw it was to level it and have Habitat build a new house there.
Oh,
here you go.
Gary.
It's too beautiful.
It's tough shape.
Your build was 1920, by the way.
1920?
Yeah.
All right.
So we want to get her going, so we bring
You
it
guys are
forward.
closer to it than I am, so that's fine. It just, wow, it looked tough to me.
It's about the average age of the RDA.
I don't.
And Harry was there for the groundbreaking.
They're kind of strong.
Well, you guys are closer to it.
Yeah, it's really a report. We'll bring the project
Yeah.
back to you. when
We'll
we
bring
have
up an
the
actual
numbers and-
project, but.
All right.
But we wanted to let you know where we're
Sure.
planning to go.
Good.
How we're going with
Okay, I ask for a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Jim, second by
Tom.
Tom. Motion is to act on the rehabilitation project at 159 North Maple using neighborhood enhancement fund. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Number 7, consideration and possible action to purchase real estate at South Broadway, tax parcel 2107 for $300 using neighborhood enhancement. What is that, a sidewalk or something? Or?
Well, it's actually, these are actually billboards. So, but don't get excited because they're.
Oh, we won't get excited.
It's actually purchasing of the land underneath the billboard. The reason, this first one that we're looking at, this is the shipyard area. So we own everything around it, and then the billboard is on this triangle piece here. So we'd like to acquire that, oh no, that's right. We'd like to acquire this one to control the land underneath it, so if we needed to attach those parcels together, that might give us a little extra space. The price is $300. But there is a perpetual easement, so the billboard stays there.
Forever?
Perpetually,
Really?
yes.
So why do we want it then?
Well,
Parking,
because,
you can get 4 or 5 cars in there.
you know, if we can somehow get a little bit
Yeah.
more, we can actually use the land, we can still use the land underneath that billboard, so, and it is attached to our property there, so I think for $300, it would be
Yeah.
worth it to pick that one out,
That
just
was worth
because
it.
it's
They're
contiguous.
for sale all over the city right now, because the
Right.
city owns them, we can't collect taxes on them.
Yeah.
So I just hope they stay private ownership under all the rest of them, but this one
Right.
makes a lot of sense,
Yeah,
especially
they're
for
close to the
Right.
stadium, Joe, we can go buy it for parking and make the $300 back. Afternoon.
How many bikes can you get over there? We'll get the
I
bike
think,
group
I mean,
involved.
the nice, if
Who
you
owns it
join
right
it to
now?
the other
Yeah.
parcel.
I believe it's owned by
and
Beverly
green space,
Friends.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
just,
Oh, yeah.
you'll
Oh.
just be able to landscape
Right.
it.
But they must be getting more than $300
Permanent
for
building,
a billboard rental.
Her husband doesn't have.
I don't, there's no,
No, the billboard will stay
Yeah.
private owner, so like that, they just have
Right.
the perpetual easement down.
Oh, I
so-
see.
so we're not gonna have any lease on that
Yeah,
billboard,
I got you.
unfortunately.
I'm assuming that's personal
Yeah.
property.
Yeah,
then.
he had
For $300, I think,
Oh, yeah.
make a motion to approve.
Second.
Yeah.
Second.
I make a motion to approve. And Joel second.
Motion by Gary, second by Joe, then to authorize the purchase of the site in the 300 block of, no, it isn't even in here, just on South Broadway for
Yeah.
$300 using
Right.
neighborhood enhancement funds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Good work, guys. Number 8, consideration and possible action to purchase real estate at Eastman Avenue and North River Avenue, tax parcels 7486 and 7487, 1133 Parrott Street, tax parcels 2618 and 1902 North River Avenue, tax parcels 21486 and 21487 for $29,700 using neighborhood enhancement funds. What is that?
Wow, okay, these are some more billboards that came up.
Really?
So,
Wow.
but, you know, we.
Billboard, huh?
We made the offer on this to hold them in place. Staff reviewed them. There's more green space land on these, but at this point, we don't really have a use for these because it's the same situation. We buy the land, the billboard would stand there perpetually. And in these cases where there's a lot more land, there's a lot more maintenance to that land. They're in the floodplain. So I don't think we have a use for these at this time. There's this one here, there's one on Parrott, that's at the end of Parrott. And then, is that the last one? Okay.
So
So,
is the owner of the billboard the owner of the land as well?
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
So I want to go
In all
back to
the
my
cases?
question on the last one then. I would like to validate that these are considered personal property, the billboards themselves,
okay.
because we want to make sure they're taxable even though the city will own the property.
Yeah.
The one on Broadway, okay.
Well, that one and
Well,
these.
we're not gonna buy
I'm not
these.
recommending the
We don't-
purchase.
Oh, you're not?
We're not gonna buy these.
Oh,
No, I would recommend at the RDA.
Leave them taxable.
okay.
Because just looking at those, I mean, at this point,
This one here is where that little mechanic shop was, where the Juggalos crashed into it a couple of years
Oh,
ago.
yeah, yeah, those two guys in the.
So it was developed, there was something
Right.
there, and the owner leased that building out. Um, So, but again, it's all floodplain, so anything new that's going in there has got to get elevated, and it's got some additional expenses.
I just got a quick question on this whole billboard thing. So they have perpetual ownership, meaning, no matter what we came up with, we could never get rid of that billboard? That-
So we could, in theory, we could purchase the billboards from them, or we could potentially condemn them, but
Okay,
anytime you
okay.
condemn them, you have to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
usually the billboards are
This
very
is-
expensive because you can't replace them, right? I mean, there's certain provisions on where they
Right.
can go, so.
That's interesting.
But none of these are leased by private owners to the billboard, to the franchise.
No, they're
whatever
all-
it is.
no.
No.
They're all owned by,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, a lot of times they'll let you buy it out for a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money, yeah.
Everything's for sale for a price, right?
Right.
But, so,
Okay.
we would recommend that the RDA not go forward and purchase these.
Just make a motion that we just even place on file,
Yeah.
item 8.
I actually would like a motion to not purchase
I would
these.
make a motion to deny.
Thank you,
All right.
if you don't mind.
We have a motion by Tom then to deny the purchase of the real estate property as outlined. Who's the second?
I'll second.
Joe, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? How did this happen to come forward in the first place then?
We got some information that they were available, and whenever we see billboard and an opportunity to look at possibly getting it, and, I mean, we
We were
always.
thinking of putting our picture, each one of us on a billboard
And
around
then
the
we could
city.
have,
Said-
right, if we have 7.
I understand that.
We can do that.
Tom, it's not good. People are shooting guns at targets.
I'll ask for a motion to approve the financial report and the check register as provided to all of us.
So moved.
Motion by Gary, second by Jim. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Director, interim director, ad hoc director.
I'm going to pass this out to you. This is part of the director's report, but we received this today. This is with regards to our Shower and Schumacher property. Our developers have decided that this is, that they have to let the option go.
Really?
Oh, really?
That's too bad.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to hand this out. What we can do is put this on the agenda for next month if you'd like, and discuss if we're going to RFP this. I think that's probably what we need to do at this point, but I would like to proceed with that.
This is in a TIF district.
Is this in TIF?
Double check.
I have to check. So- Just wanted to hand that out, and we can put that on the agenda for next month if you'd like.
No, they're the property with the Woody School site, aren't they? Same people? Yeah.
They'd be willing, they said they'd be willing to come back in closed session and discuss how this project worked. So that's an option too, if you'd like that.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Yes.
Yeah.
Invite them back just to find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they must get in town every once in a while, I imagine.
How many?
No, I think it'd be interesting to do that.
And then the other item is, Harry, the email. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that with regards to the tour
Oh,
of Norfolk.
I had an email from the Northland Hotel people. They would like to have a meeting to kind of clear the air a little bit on what has been happening with the Northland the last few weeks. And Christopher Howell, who is the largest subcontractor, would like to talk with us and just bring us up to date, and proposing a meeting Thursday afternoon at 4:30 at the Northland.
And that's this Thursday?
This Thursday, yeah. And I think, I certainly would go, but if anybody else is available, I think that'd be good to join us. I don't know if the aldermen, are they?
It said,
They have.
Yeah, I think
We've
the
actually,
aldermen
we've already advertised the notice of quorum for the council, RDA, and the Historic Preservation Commission.
Oh,
So anybody who wants to attend
okay.
this one is available to, or is
So-
able to.
Whoever shows up, shows up.
4:30 this
I
Thursday.
should be able to make that.
Dave Nending will be there.
Try.
oh, is he here?
He's already got a rumor submitted.
Is that has to be an open meeting then, in case the press one's covered.
Well, that's why it's
Yes.
noticed, yep.
Yeah, all right.
So, and we have confirmed that the media they're aware that the media will be present.
Yeah.
Or can be present.
Good.
Make a motion to receive and place on file the director's report.
Which, all
Made a motion to receive and place on file the director's report.
right. We have a motion by Joe then, to place
I
your
just got
report on file. What?
Question on the parking ramp project. That's on hold now?
The status of the Cherry Street
Right.
parking lot? Do we know the status of that?
I have not heard
I haven't heard anything on it.
The one report said that it's on hold. Okay, I question. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Anything else?
Your motion again, Joe?
Receive and place on file the director's report.
Okay. A second, by motion and a second then to place the director's report on file. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Meeting adjourned. Very good, guys.
We don't know the project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Excellent.